Hey guys, welcome back to the Friday Vlog where we discuss activity that goes on here with the BuzWeaver channel. That includes things like current events, headlines that are in the news, technology, social media, and items of interest that come up during the week that allow us to have a little bit of a dialogue. If you're new here to the channel, I'd like to welcome you guys here, or if you are a returning visitor, I would encourage both of you guys now to click on that watermark down there in the bottom right hand corner to subscribe. Or if you are on alternative media, I would encourage you guys to give me a follow there on BitChute, DTube, and or Minds, because your guys' participation here on the content is greatly appreciated. In gaming news this week, Infinity Ward came out with the 1.08 patch for Call of Duty Modern Warfare, where we see more adjustments to the 7.25 shotgun, along with footsteps and a myriad of different changes. You guys can check out that video up here in the top right-hand corner to get all the details about Call of Duty, and I am really encouraged and enthusiastic about covering it here on the channel, so your guys' participation with Call of Duty is also equally as appreciated. I'd like to lead off this particular segment with a quote from fellow YouTube creator Philip DeFranco when he says, "When it involves the spotlight, people like three things. 1, the rise up to fame. 2, the tear down of fame. And 3, the redemption story." Now, what we've learned is recently Instagram has introduced or phased in the removal of the like feature. And there are all kinds of reasons why social media is trying to introduce these types of functionalities or mechanics. And it has been discussed not only on Instagram, but Twitter and Facebook, for example, those being the more predominant of the social media. But the thing is, the coders, the programmers, the engineers, the developers of many of these platforms understand and get consulted by psychologists and experts on the human condition, human behavior. And the like feature has always been one of those aspects to it that kind of drives people to remain on the platform. It's a dopamine hit. They know this as the dopamine click. In other words, like if someone wants to share something, of course, it's very personal to them, say for example on Facebook, where things are more personal than say as in the creator environment where things are really more business related. We're trying to build our brands, we're trying to reach as many people as we can. But in general on Facebook, it is more of a personal platform, and so the interactions there are more on a personal level. And so now we're starting to see many of these developers, designers, and engineers start to remove some of those features as certain individuals are becoming, I suppose, more prominent, more outspoken, and of course our current information war is creating another set of environment that is pressing upon the rules and policies of many of these platforms that they have to address and deal with some of these more difficult people that are having, certain levels of expression, activism, that sort of thing, as we have talked about here on this channel before. But nonetheless, the removal of these particular features could have a particular effect on people because, as I mentioned, on Facebook, things can be very personalized. And you see from time to time people saying, oh, I need to take a break, I need to do this, and I need to do that. I can't, be on social media for this long, or this toxic environment and everything else. And I'm going to tell you a little secret on how we as creators deal with that sort of mental drain, psychology drain, emotional drain. And that is, never take what you see on the internet personally. Yes, I understand that you're on Facebook, you're sharing your passions, you're sharing your personal little intimate details, things about the things that you do, things that your family does, things that you're interested in, things that you're passionate about. And it can become very toxic because there might be someone who doesn't agree with you. There might be someone who rejects something that you have to say, or they don't align themselves with your philosophy, your ideology, your worldview. And so that can be, kind of detrimental. And believe me, the programmers, the coders, the designers, the engineers, they all know this, and they really want people to all get along. And so you see all these levels of censorship, all these levels of controls, all these levels of features. And we have talked about this here on the channel at length. And of course, you can go to the channel page and see all the different topics as it concerns all of this. But nonetheless, I did want to share that aspect of it to you, because if you look on your social media, say for example on your Facebook, you will typically see the same 4 or 5 people in the Your Story line, right? Because the internet facilitates a platform that allows even the smallest voices to be able to share their message to a wider audience. And this, of course, has contributed to the information war that we have. Now, you'll hear the buzzword, we're a divided nation, we're a divided country. No, not really. The only thing that's divided is the tribal groups, the ideological groups are divided. And these individuals are catering to, and they're trying to solicit you, they're trying to get you to buy into what they have to sell. Now, I mention that because part of this segment that is now being filled here was going to be about the impeachment inquiry, which has turned into a complete show, and how politicians and the political system is now using and leveraging social media as well as media in general to their advantage. And unfortunately, they are really catering to people who may not be as informed, because people may not have the time, the energy, or the effort to invest into the fact checking. But nonetheless, so Instagram is going to be phasing in this removal of the like system. And so it's going to be really interesting to see how the community of individuals react and relate to this. But nonetheless, social media can be a very curious place. And I would just say again and reiterate, don't take what you see on the internet very personally, and that way your experience on the internet will be a lot more pleasant. So guys, as part of a segment, I had thought about going into the impeachment inquiry, but of course we have covered this particular topic for quite some time here on the channel, and that is of course that the politicians in this particular session, yet again, we saw it with Kavanaugh, we saw it with all the other individuals that they keep bringing out there before the committees. And so yet we're seeing this on display yet again, the daytime television reality series that is now our politics and partisanship, because I would say and contend and affirm that the Democrats really have no solutions. They have no answers to how they want to address President Trump, and they're relating to this scandal format, this really underhanded type of activity. And the people you're seeing today on this impeachment inquiry are individuals that have third and fourth hand information, hearsay at best, and they're simply being asked their personal opinions, which is not really based on fact, is not factual, much less treason or high crimes to even begin an impeachment process. But yeah, see, I was trying to avoid this segment and I had to throw it in there, but I was very passionate about it. I was very disappointed by what I'm seeing on TV, particularly when people are being misled by a group of individuals who really know what's going on in the background. They already know what the outcome is going to be, yet they're going to portray this out to the people, and it's very disappointing to me. But nonetheless, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here and thank all of you for your continued participation here on the channel, particularly all of you who are also on alternative media. I would encourage you guys now here on YouTube, if you haven't already, go ahead and click on that channel icon appearing right there on the screen to subscribe, along with clicking that notification so you guys will know when there is additional content here on the channel, to include things like Call of Duty and, of course, the Friday vlog. And I will see you guys right there behind the camera next week.